No.
Matthew Ince says Cody is the new Hall Nash. When Punk and Danielson were coming into there is no more Hall. You guys stop. When Punk and Danielson were coming into AEW, a lot of people said that this is just as big as the NWO. Well, we were shown that immediately didn't have the kind of reaction at all, but since Cody Rhodes is coming to WWE, ratings have gone up. Their social media numbers are even bigger, and damn, even if your own YouTube channel, for example, has a load of Cody clips with some really large hit counts lately. So do you think that Cody Rhodes may be the new, in a way, Hall and Nash debuting in WCW? No. He's
incredible,
but he's,
dude.
but he got it.
You just sound like you're a Cody mark, and that's cool. No problem there.
Here's what
don't
Cody
compare
did.
them to Hall and Nash.
Here's what I'm comparing Cody to. He was a guy that went away for 2.5 years and watched his stock rise. Yeah. He left WCW. Brother said very rarely happens to WWE guys. Very rarely do you leave WWE and your stock goes up. His stock went up because he came back in a better spot than he left. So all credit to him.
Yeah, much better spot.
But definitely not, bro. Holland. Here's the thing with Hall Nash, and this is I want to look at this. Actually, I'm gonna just to put everybody that like gets into this the ludicrousness of the wrestling war and the numbers, and every week you're talking about the numbers and you're trying to compare Hall and Nash and all these guys coming back. And says, let me just say something very clear here to you. All right, that when the wrestling wars, this is going to take a minute for me to look up, Joe, here, so it's going to take a second here. All right, but when Raw and Nitro, okay, were going started going head to head. Okay, so let me see, what year is this?
1995. September.
So when was it? September of 96 or something like that? 95?
95.
Okay, I'm almost here. Let me get it here. So September 95, okay, when Raw started, okay, Raw was doing
twos.
Raw started off with when it went head to head, it started off with like a 2. They were doing threes, like 3.2s. Okay, 3.2, 3.4, 3.2. That was like the 4 weeks before Nitro started, right? So then they do a 2.2, but they were going head to head. So they lost like they took a like them going head to head against Nitro took like a 33% chunk out of their fan base. Okay, but let me fast forward, and that's so that they're doing a 2.2 in 1995 September. Let's fast forward to what what would this be like? That would be the equivalent of 1998. How many months has it been? So October, November, December, January, February, March. Okay, so March of 98. Okay, March of 98. They're doing 3 9s, 3 6s, 4 4s, 3 6 2s, and 3 8s. Okay, so that's okay. So that was Nitro going up. So let's look at WCW, so that was Raw going up. So Raw increased in a 2.5-year period from the time that the wrestling war started. They increased probably like 20% from the numbers they were doing the month before they started. Okay, where WCW had taken their audience away, but then they got it back and then some. All right, but Nitro, okay, if we look at this here, so Nitro during the same arc, during the same period of time. Started, actually didn't start there. Hang on a minute here. All right. Okay, so here we are. So Nitro, during that same period, so Nitro started in
September 95.
Yeah, September 95. Okay, so Nitro started the first with a 2.5, 2.4, 2.7. So Nitro and Raw were basically head to head. Okay, and they were both drawing, like roughly the same thing for the first 8 weeks. All right, so combined, they were drawing like a 4.5 to a 5.0, both shows combined on Monday nights, right? So you fast forward to March of 1998, okay? And let's see here. Why does this thing take so long to load? Hang on, one more here. It's very difficult going back and find all these. So Raw was doing a 3.2, okay? And Nitro in March was doing 4.6. Here's their numbers for March: 4.9, 5.1, 3.8, 4.6, 4. Or that's Thunder. Thunder was doing good numbers there. Nitro doing 4.6, 5.1, 4. Near fives, right? So the combined shows were doing roughly 7.5. Okay, they started at like 5. The combined were doing 5.0. Bro, the audience in 2.5 years rose by 50% on the Monday Night Wars. So the wrestling audience in 2.5 years rose by 50%. In 2.5 years since AEW started on TV, what has happened to the wrestling audience? Has it risen by 50%?
Smaller.
Stagnated.
Okay, so so you guys that want to try to compare, you don't have the metrics to compare. There is no comparison when you look at the numbers. So anybody that wants to keep trying to compare like Hall and Nash, no, the numbers are dwarfed now compared to what they were, and they actually led to Scott Hall and Kevin Nash was the path that led to a 50% increase in audience over a 2.5 year period of time. I mean, bro, those
And
stats,
WWE, and if you listen to those tables for threes and like that, WWE was watching what they were doing. They were like, we better do something.
right?
You know?
Right.
That's when they started getting edgier.
And what you guys are doing,
when you completely revolutionize and change the business like they did, very few people have done it. They've done it. Rey Mysterio's done it. But Cody didn't revolutionize. And I don't take nothing away from him. He's great on the mic, all that. And Danielson and the other guy, Moxley, are really good together, but they're not revolutionizing anything. You know what I'm saying?
They're not drawing. They didn't draw new fans. You didn't draw new thing. You're not drawing. You're what they're doing right now.
Bro,
Wrestling,
literally,
delivering for the fans that you have. You know,
bro. Imagine this. I went to the WrestleCon, and I'm not kidding when I tell you this. The shirt I most saw everybody wearing during that weekend were NWO shirts.
Yep. What did I tell you about? Remember
20 years later.
Bro, remember when we talked about how you could reinvent the NWO and the guys that we would have put on it? You know, we would have Braun Strowman, Cross, like big killer guys.
Right.
You know, so much of it, and then come in and actually, Rhea Ripley, Ronda, Charlotte. You know, so, I mean, you could do that today.
Right.
But maybe they're selling enough T-shirts as is that they don't need to reinvent it. But right.
Yeah.
That just shows the staying power of that 20 years later, kids today still think it's cool to wear it, you know, because they look at the old shows and go, man, they were doing cool you know what I'm saying? Will you have that type of impact?
Yeah.
Did you see any MWO T-shirts at WrestleCon?
No, but I'm looking at one right now. Yo, what up? This is Conan, and I host Keeping It 100, my co-host, Disco Inferno, unfortunately.
Well, I'd say you're my co-host.
Listen, every Thursday here on Spreaker, we talk pro wrestling, sports, movies, music, TV, pop culture, and some politics. It's everything the rest of the pro wrestling podcasts are not.
Tune in to hear myself, the superior one, educate and inform.
Tune in to hear me bury Disco.
That's very disrespectful.
Join us every Thursday on Spreaker and keep it 100. Boom!